What's up, and welcome to episode 5 of the Q podcast with special guest, Mr. BrotherTim himself. Welcome to the Q.
Hey!
Hey, before I ask you some questions and we have a simple conversation to get to know you a bit, let me just tell you the premise of the show as if we are in a hypothetical queue line waiting to ride your favorite attraction. And while we wait, we have just a genuine, fun conversation. And with that being said, what is your favorite ride?
Well, okay. Now, if we're going to be in line for 75 minutes, that's what's going to decide it, okay? Because
It's just a busy day at the park.
It is. It's extremely busy. And if you're like at Six Flags, it's hot. So
yes, very hot.
I'm going to mark out Six Flags, even though that's my home park.
Okay.
And I love Goliath, and I love the Twisted Cyclone.
All right.
Not sitting in line for 75 minutes in the heat and the humidity.
That's true. That's true.
So we're going to go down to Universal.
Oh, my favorite park.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Adventure.
Yes. Keep
the
going.
Incredible Hulk, because it's indoors and air conditioned.
Yeah, the queue.
Yes.
And okay.
And all I've got is my drink bottle with me.
You know what? This is going to be a good episode. Because I'm very happy you went to my home. Because I grew up in Daytona Beach, Florida, 45 minutes or so away from Orlando. Grew up with Universal. It spawned I have pictures literally right here by me of like me younger going there. It's my favorite park, period. Yes. And you chose it. I'm 100% down with that. Which is funny. I have a story with the Hulk. I was super afraid, and I mentioned that on the I think 2 episodes ago. Okay. How I was so afraid to ride the Hulk for the first time, and then I did it with my brother. And the only way to do it your first time is front row. And yeah, so it's a great coaster.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. All right. So today we're gonna ride the Hulk, and I'm super happy to be doing this. So
and we got the green and all that.
Yeah. We do. It's also my favorite color. So what are the odds? So you mentioned a little bit about your home local park. So today we're visiting Universal Studios Islands of Adventure, but your home local park growing up, and also still to this day, and it's also mine. Six Flags Over Georgia.
Yep.
Your history dates back to the borderline origin of the park.
Yeah. You're correct, sir.
Please.
You're correct. Let me show you something here.
Oh, okay. Please. This is by the way one of the podcasts I've been excited. I've been excited for all of them, but I've been really anticipating because I dig a lot into Six Flags Over Georgia history. Okay. I want to pick your brain with a lot of questions. So just to reiterate, been excited about all the episodes, but this one has some history that I want to dig into. Please proceed.
So let me get this up here.
Yes.
Let me get it right there.
Yes, explain for those, because this is on YouTube and SoundCloud. Yes. So for those listening,
I'm sorry, that's right. We're on podcasting, right?
Yes.
So this is a picture of a little boy standing in front of the General, and the General is the train engine at Six Flags Over Georgia. All right, and this picture was taken on July the 31st, 1968.
That's so.
And the little guy's me.
That makes me, guys. Okay, I want to just say June 16th, 1967.
Yeah,
is when the park opened. Six Flags Over Georgia opened up. The opening day. This man just mentioned 1968 and showed a picture for those of you guys watching, and also as we're telling you for those listening. This is insane. Keep it. Yes.
I've got more stuff for you a little later on.
Okay, please. I want to know a lot more.
Well, you probably already know it, but I'm just going to show it to you.
And then
we'll describe it to those that are listening.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So is that your earliest memory of the park?
Yeah, that was the first time we'd ever been to the park.
Okay, yeah.
My sister was like 3 years old, and I was actually 5 years old. So, there wasn't a whole lot there.
Right.
And I don't remember every little bit of it, but there was, I do remember like we called them the old timey cars, the Hanson cars.
Yes.
The train ride.
Which the Hanson cars were in a different location.
Exactly right.
Yep.
And, just things like that. They had a porpoise show or a dolphin show with Skipper and Dolly. Remember those kind of things. but as far as what we did all day long, not
Yes.
really. But then,
that's
but
fine.
that was my very first experience being a part of any kind of theme park. I mean, there was nothing. There was no Disney.
It wasn't a big. It wasn't a big thing.
No, there's nothing in Georgia. I
Right.
mean, this was huge, and
Mm-hmm.
the only roller coaster there was the Dahlonega Mine Train.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? So,
Just, like, tell me a little bit more of what you remember as far as the park itself. What did it look like? I actually haven't. I've spoken very briefly with some other people, but I haven't actually really engaged with somebody who's been there back in, say, the 60s, even the 70s, like, in this format. So I'm super pumped and I'm hyped, guys.
okay.
So yes, if you can recall, it doesn't even have to be 68. It could be 70s. What do you more so recall about those early heydays of
Well,
the Six Flags Over Georgia?
the thing was, back in the day, there was, when you go into the promenade now, that was not there. It was white columns,
yes,
and fountains and statues, and it was just a different atmosphere when you walked in. The turnstiles were actually about where, a little before where you get to the fountain now, kind of
right.
at the Looney Tunes exposition.
Yeah.
If you drew a line from there over to Primo's Pizza,
Yeah,
that is where the turnstiles were. The
that's
ticket booths
interesting.
were kind of off. If you were looking straight into the park on the promenade, it would be kind of off to the left.
Okay.
And right there in the where the main entrance is now, you'll see there's a kind of a star or a big circle there.
Right.
That actually was a fountain.
Yeah.
That had little statues and stuff like that in it. So
Mm-hmm.
to me, that was when you walked into Six Flags, that was what you saw, was this grand garden.
Yeah.
And at the time, they took real pride in the foliage that they had, the flowers, the shrubbery, I mean, it was just so beautiful. And
A
that's
huge team, or a nice coordinate following team of uh landscapers that, like you said, took pride in what they did at the park. So again, no disrespect or shade towards the park today, but just what you're saying is so factual and it's true. Like, they really went above and beyond.
And see that, and my mom, I don't know if you've seen my channel, but I feature her in a lot of stuff.
Oh, I've seen it.
So you know, she wouldn't ride rides.
Right.
She wasn't into that kind of thing, but she loved the flowers.
Yes.
And when we would go around, she was just looking at flowers all the time.
Right.
Because they had different types of flowers.
Yes.
And that was what she enjoyed. Now, me at 5 or 6 years old,
you didn't really care so much.
Yeah. The kiddie rides were, I wasn't really, well, they didn't have thrill rides, number one. So, it was just kind of a family atmosphere.
Right.
And the thing is, if you go back and you look at pictures from that time, it is crazy. It's the middle of summer and men are walking around with suits and ties, and women are in dresses and hats.
Yes. I always noticed that. And that goes back from a lot of things. Old Disney. So obviously at this time, if we're talking about 1968, 1967, when you went for 1968, Disney World, Walt Disney World, Magic Kingdom wasn't around. None of that was there until 71. So the only thing was out west, Disneyland. So looking back at old Disneyland or Knott's Berry Farm pictures, same thing, suits. If you look back old NBA games, for those who are in the sports, they're in suits at the games. Like, they just got off work or whatever, and they just went to the game or the park in this instance. So it's always funny.
It's so hot. That's the thing, is it was as hot then as it is now. There might be 1 or 2 degree difference.
I'm sure.
It was hot. I mean, I just can't imagine walking around Six Flags. It's hard to do it in a t-shirt and shorts.
It is.
And now you put the mask on. That's a whole different story.
Oh my, that's a whole story for a whole nother day.
Yes,
but speaking of the park, back then, did it still have all the hills?
Yes.
Okay, so the whole landscape hasn't really changed. Obviously, some things have, but the whole land itself is still relatively similar. Obviously, expansions and stuff, but
now the walkway section is exactly the same. There's not a thing changed on that. And that's one of the things that stand out in my mind that I don't experience now. Okay. Because when you would first walk in, of course, Six Flags at that time was divided up into 6 sections.
Yes, correct.
You had your 6 flags that had flown over Georgia, and each section represented one of those flags. When you went to the right, it was the English section.
Yes.
And as you went through that, and you were about to go up that first hill, right there under the railroad track.
Right.
Now you look at that, and the railroad tracks look like it's concrete beams.
Yes.
In those days, it was not. It was just like a regular wooden railroad track bridge, with the big pylons.
Yes.
And when you walked around that corner, like now it's the Twisted Cyclone. So when you walked around that corner and started going up that hill there was a smell. It was, and let me try to describe this to you, okay?
Please.
The asphalt. It was asphalt now, and it was asphalt then.
You're hinting at the Six Flags. I forgot what it's called. There's a name for it that you guys used to. Yeah, it's called like a Six. No, it's pretty simple, I believe. It was like a Six Flags smell. Yes. And please go.
It was like, no, it's fine. And so the asphalt, you had that tar smell. It was just like a sealant or a tar kind of gasoline nearly type smell. But then you had the creosote from the railroad tracks, because that was also new. So when you walked around that corner, you could breathe in and you could smell that creosote and tar.
You could still kind of smell
the
tar at the park, because if anybody's been there, I always say I feel like that blacktop, that tar makes that park 10 degrees hotter.
Yes,
it really does.
Yes.
And then if you've been, you guys know that smell that he's referring to. But I know back then it was a lot more distinct and a lot more enhanced.
And it's like when I remember being little and maybe going to Chattanooga or somewhere where they may have train tracks and things like that.
Right.
And it would be that smell. It's like, are we at Six Flags? It's like,
right.
That's a good smell.
Yes. They say that smell is the biggest thing to redeem memories. So absolutely. But speaking of, we were talking about flowers early on with your mom and how they took pride in the landscape. I'm just thinking in my mind as we are having this conversation, they still kind of do have the flowers and stuff around the park. So they still kind of, take care of it. But obviously, nobody pays attention like that. But subtle things that we don't really notice. Interesting.
Yeah, back in the day, not now. If you go, it's kind of like perennials, and it's kind of the same all over the park.
Yes, it is.
To Marthasville, there at the train station, the flowers there are kind of the same that are over at the Scorcher. So in that time, it's like they really took notice on the sections of the park.
Oh wow! I didn't even think about
the floral arrangements and the flowers that were in those areas kind of represented that section of the park.
Are you serious? I didn't know that at all.
Yeah.
See, I consider myself a connoisseur of Six Flags Over Georgia, but I even learn new things every day. Obviously, you were there back then, and I'm just picking up and just learning new things as we go along. But I didn't know that at all. Just like I didn't know that there was a gas station. Could you please enlighten me and those who don't know what I'm talking about? Please help them understand what am I referring to.
So if you were when you come into the park and you pull in through the parking booths, and you park. If you were to look straight back into the back end of the parking lot, now they've got a fence up there, and I think they may have some construction walls or something back there.
And by the way, guys, we're all hearing this together for the first time. I've never heard this. So,
you haven't?
No, I've never heard this.
So
this is
back there in that far back corner was a Chevron station. Or Standard. I guess back then it was probably Standard Oil.
Okay. So
they changed to Chevron.
So all right, help me out a little bit. Picture this in my head.
Okay.
So you're saying where they keep kind of the construction stuff. So are we talking a little closer up near Batman Oh,
No,
Gotham City, or a
actually,
little further
back.
Okay.
Let's say you know when you leave the park and
Yes.
you've got those 2 lanes on the
Yes,
far
yes, yes,
right
yes.
if you were to take those 2 lanes and then just go straight back
Okay.
and go, I mean, as far back as you can go.
Okay, gotcha,
There's
gotcha.
some I think there's a construction wall back there, or there may be like a chain link fence
Okay.
that block
Just
off
straight back
some.
those 2 okay, yes.
And you know, then those 2 lanes go all the way around the back of the parking lot and come
Correct.
out by the picnic pavilions.
Yes, correct.
And then if you take that road on out, it goes all the way past the Great American Screen Machine,
Right,
up a
right.
hill to what I used to call the graveyard. They used to
Yeah.
put old bride
Yes,
junk up
correct.
there. So anyway, but if you go out and when you make that sweeping right-hand turn in the far back of the parking lot,
Right.
if you look to your left, that was where the gas station was.
Okay. Yeah. What do you remember of the gas station?
Well, we never filled up there because it was way too expensive. So
Of course it would be.
my dad made sure we had plenty of gas to get home. Well, we didn't live that far away anyway, but you know,
Wow.
when we went, we made sure we had enough gas to get home because you were not filling up at Six Flags, because if it was this is crazy, because gas then was like, I don't know, 75 cents a gallon. I don't know, something like that.
No,
You know, and so
the younger listeners, the really young listeners and viewers will be like, "That's it."
Yeah.
You guys don't understand back then.
Right.
Prices are different.
Yeah.
Lifestyle was different with because you're looking at what was a soft drink back then was 25 to 75. Yeah, 25 cents to get a drink.
Yeah.
I've seen old videos and pictures of the menus, and I'll see like 25 cents, and I'm like, are you serious right now? So, but of course we have the refillable cups, mugs for members these days.
For me,
yeah,
I was 5 years old. I didn't care what it cost.
Yeah.
If I was thirsty, I wanted something to drink, you know?
Right.
You know, I remember, now this is a crazy story. Like my
Yes,
brother,
please.
he was born in 69.
Okay.
So the first time I went, I didn't have a brother.
Yeah.
So my brother was born in 69. So it was a couple of more years after that before we were able to bring him to Six Flags.
Correct.
And at that time, you had to be 2 and under to get him for free. If you were 3 years old, they charged you.
That's pretty standard still to this day.
So my dad always made sure he was carrying my brother even until he was up to like 4 years old to make him look 2 years old.
My mom used to do things like that with me. You know, so yeah.
That's the way it goes. You got to cut those corners.
Hey, we're not condoning it. It just happens.
And you know, the thing is you look back now and think, oh, that wasn't too expensive, but it was.
That's it was.
It cost, I mean, maybe $25 a person. Let's say, you know, $25 a person. In a family of 4 or 5, you're looking at $100.
Yeah.
And in those days, $100 could take care of you for a month.
Yes, and especially you got to think the park opened in 67. There weren't many. There's amusement parks, there's carnivals, there's fairs, but there weren't really like any theme park like parks out there. So it's relatively new. So a parent's not going to want to pay $100 for a family to go to something that we don't even know what this is. Now you look at Disney for one day for one park, you're paying like $109. I looked today at the time of recording. I looked today, $109 for one. So that's a lot back then for sure.
It really was. And actually the closest thing to Six Flags Over Georgia at that time was Six Flags Over Texas.
Yeah.
You know?
Which was the first ever. Yeah.
Exactly.
Because there were by the time you've been, this is the second only Six Flags park in the world.
Exactly.
And now they have like 26.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. And also for those who are still confused about what he's referring to as far as the pricing, take whatever he has said and then put that into like their software or things on the internet. You can look at inflation, look at 1968. So say $25 and look at what $25 is in 2020 and you'll see that price. Yeah, no, you're not going to want to pay that. So, and guys, for memberships way before that.
Kind of froze up there, bud. Sorry.
Okay. No, you're good. What was the last thing you heard?
You were just kind of expounding on the ticket price.
Okay. Okay.
The putting it in your computer and
Okay.
looking at
Okay.
it
All
for
right.
inflation.
Thank you. Yeah. Perfect. So yeah, I'll just continue on from there, and obviously I'll edit
It
this
was
out.
only like a second, but
No, it's good. I like perfection, and I like that you like perfection.
yeah.
So that's good. Okay, so I'll continue on with the whole ticket price or the put in the software thing. So yes. And then here we go. So if you guys take what he has said and you put say the $25 into software on like the internet today, you'll see like the inflation prices of what say 1968 to 2020 is, and you'll see the prices are way different, and you would not want to pay that back then. So understandably so. That's insane.
Yes.
We're just getting started too with all this. It's a beautiful thing. Now I do want to know from your earliest memories, at least, or even a little bit after, what was your favorite ride back in those days?
Okay. Probably at 5 years old, it was probably either the Hanson cars or the Speedway cars.
Yeah.
Because then at that time they had two different sets. There was
Yep.
the Speedway cars were kind of like Autopia. Is that what they call it at Disney World?
At Disney? Yeah.
So it was kind of that thing, and it was kind of it was behind DJ's Diner, there
Yep.
where the Goliath is. There was like a figure 8 track back
Yeah.
there for those little cars. But then the older I got then of course it was the Little Onaga Mine Train.
Yeah.
Because it was the only thrill ride there. The Great American Scream Machine didn't come in until later.
Yeah, 73.
So yeah, the Great American Scream Machine in 73, I remember I was like in 4th or 5th grade.
Right.
And kids were coming to school and they had buttons, and I had not seen it yet. And they had buttons that said, I survived the Scream Machine.
I just learned about the buttons during the quarantine.
Okay.
Yes.
And I didn't have a button, but then now this is 4th and 5th graders, and the boys would be talking. It was like, oh, did you hear about the Scream Machine? You get nosebleeds coming down that first hill, because it was the fastest roller coaster in the world.
Yes, guys, it was not only the fastest, it was the tallest roller coaster in the world, and people need to understand that. It was at Six Flags over Georgia. History is there.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
Keep going. Like it was scary.
Yeah.
I had not seen it, and I'm hearing these guys talking about, oh, they're you're passing out, you're having nosebleeds, and oh, it's so scary. I heard a guy died on it last week. All this guy, it was how kids are.
Yes, I was just about to say, yeah.
And because they had these buttons saying they survived it, so it's got to be the worst thing in the world,
or the best.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So I remember going and wanting to ride it for the first time, and I was scared. It was like, oh, I'm so scared. And it was like going up that hill, like click, 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 and see, like the biggest hill I'd ever been on was the Mine Train. This seemed like it was lasting forever. That first hill, you're going down and you see the lake, and it's like, we're going to go into the water.
Yeah,
you're going to crash. It's going to go right through the track.
Yes.
And then like, oh man, this is fun. This is awesome. Let's do it again.
I bet it was like, oh man. So imagine people out there listening, watching, imagine the biggest coaster happening. So we'll touch on Orion just opened up at Kings Island, so it's a new giga coaster, so over 300 feet tall. Obviously this isn't 300 feet tall, but to those back then, nothing reached this height back then. So I think it's 105 feet, if I'm not mistaken.
55 miles an hour or something.
55 miles an hour. This is unheard of at this day and age, 1973. This is technically a giga coaster for those back then.
Right.
You're talking about speed that's unheard of. Like the kids were saying, nosebleeds. Yeah. They could joke, or some probably did get nosebleeds back then. Maybe grayed out past that. All right. Some probably. Yeah. Go ahead.
I can see maybe, being so afraid.
Oh,
and then going down that first hill, you would pass out. Or you would get scared.
You've never been used to those G-forces at that point in time.
Or, you're holding your hand so tight on the bars, and then you get loose, and it's like your hands are numb, and it's like, oh gosh, I was about to die.
Right.
I never felt this before.
So I'm about to ask you something for you to expand and elaborate a little bit more on, because you mentioned in I think one of the opening day or the reopening day of 2020 vlogs that you've done, you mentioned how it used to be so smooth. You really loved the Scream Machine, and now it got really rough. Obviously, we all know that, and then they've done the retracking for now. How do you feel now? Like, for you really remembering, for you to expand and elaborate a little bit more on, you remember those old days. Like, what is it like from then to now? And I'm not even talking really about retracking. I'm talking about pre-retracking, right? Like, we'll say up to 2019. Yeah. What is that like for you to ride that nowadays?
It went from my favorite coaster, to a coaster that I would ride once and just forget about it, because it's like, I wanted to enjoy it, but it was just so rough, and it just beat your back. And see, I'm 57 years old now, so when these things are beating my back, it's beating not only my back but my kidneys and everything. Yes, it's just like a jackhammer. So no, I love it, and I don't think they've retracked the whole thing yet. I think it's just like halfway. And
they actually did a little bit. They patched some pieces before 2020, and then they did a bigger overhaul retrack with the drop and some of the beginning portions for 2020. But they haven't done the whole thing, and they definitely need to expand that brake run. Yes, but please go ahead. Please.
I mean, I still enjoy it, and I still have fond memories. One of the best memories I've had was back when they ran it backwards. That was awesome. You know, and then when they turned it backwards, what, last year before last?
I think it was 2 years. It was 3 years ago.
I thought, oh, okay, it's rough, but this is going to make it better. You know, now it's not going to be beating my back so much because we're going backwards. Anyway, you know, so it wasn't quite as much fun as it was before. And then I remember more stories about the Scream Machine.
Yes,
I remember I rode the Scream Machine when they were having the competition for riding.
How many?
So many hours. And these guys were riding in the back. So, you know, I just happened to be at Six Flags during that time. Got to ride on the same, the same car that they were on. That was cool. You know, those kind of things are things you remember.
Please forgive me if this queue line extends to 3 hours. This one's for me. And for those, I don't know. I love this. But no, back to this.
It's going to be 3 hours. Let me get my drink here. We'll fill that up, and we'll
refill it.
Right.
Hopefully they have ice in the drink you want. Inside joke for those who know about the park. Yes. In no disrespect, but yes. Mentioning the brake run though with Scream Machine, did it extend further before?
I don't think so.
So it's always been you go over that last like hill and you just jerk.
Yes,
and that's
right in your gut.
Oh my goodness, it's as bad now.
Yes.
It's oh my goodness. Why? Like that's just not smart. You have enough.
This was the first one. They had no idea. You know, I guess.
Okay, that makes sense.
They were on paper and pencil. They had no computers.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
So kind of like, you know, this whole thing was designed in a man's head on paper using, you know, calculus and algebra. And
all that stuff. All those coasters actually were up into the 80s.
There was no simulations on a computer like, yeah, we need to make that brake run longer.
Except, the fun fact, the first coaster to use like the graphic technology type was Z-Force.
Oh, they messed that one up.
Z-Force right now, Tim. Elaborate on Z-Force. What are your memories of Z-Force?
Just banging your heads from side to side. That's all that ride was.
Oh my goodness.
Bang, 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 bang. That was it.
That's why, like, I had to do a video. Did you ever see that video I did on it?
Yes.
Okay, so Yeah, thank you. Yeah. I had to expand a little bit further on Z-Force and its connection of plot of land with like Ninja, because of what they've done to the head is not very pleasant. So
Ninja was bad, but Z-Force was worse.
nobody
And
was used to those curves, those hairpin dives.
you couldn't see. I enjoy riding coasters.
Yeah,
I'm not like you guys, like Kelly was a couple of weeks ago, or Coaster Daddy, or anything. I'm not an enthusiast per se. I just enjoy them. There's no way that I can look at a coaster and say, yeah, that's got a high top helix that goes heartline around and 360 degrees upside down. I don't know those things. I just get on it.
It takes time.
I enjoyed it. Or man, that hurt. I'm not riding that again. But like the Z-Force thing, you watch. I don't know if you've looked on YouTube. You can find TV broadcasters.
Yes.
The day that it opens, and people getting off of it say, "Oh, this is the greatest thing ever in the world. This was the most fun roller coaster I've ever been on. I'm going to ride it again." I'm thinking,
yeah. I put that at the beginning of the video of those people saying that this is the best thing I've ever ridden. I'm gonna ride it again. And I'm like,
you're lying.
This is at the end of this video. It's not gonna be that.
It was so bad. But if I had to pick, ride Z-Force
or
Ninja,
yeah,
I would go with Ninja before.
I knew you were gonna take that. Yeah,
but then if you go Z-Force or the Georgia Cyclone there at the end of the it's going to be Z-Force.
Because are you serious?
Because the Georgia Cyclone there at the end beat me up again so bad, and it's like it wasn't just beating me up in the back, but it was throwing you forward and throwing you to the side, and to me it was like, this is just not.
Now of course I've heard these things, but this is crazy. You're gonna take Z-Force over the end of its lifespan of Cyclone.
Georgia Cyclone.
Yeah, Georgia Cyclone.
Yeah, it was just I would get off the Georgia Cyclone and just it was my body would ache all over, and it wasn't that I was that so old.
Yeah,
it would just hurt. And the thing was, is I carried a friend of ours right the year before they switched it over, and we went to Six Flags, and she was kind of a little special needs girl,
right?
And we go into the park, and I said, I'll ride pretty much anything you want to ride. Just let me know what you want. She said, I want to ride that one.
Yeah.
And my heart just sank. It was like, are you sure
yeah, no, you don't.
She said, oh yeah, I want to ride that one. It looks so much fun. I said, okay, we're riding that one.
I mean, they know what they're doing. A lot of parks, including Six Flags Over Georgia, know what they're doing in regards to putting their big name rides, coasters, we'll say coasters, at the front of the park where you're going to see it from the highway and whatnot. Yeah. That was one of them. So yeah, and it was big. It was a white coaster. It popped and made you. And then there was so much track to it, which if you guys don't know, they've cut out, I think, a little bit over half, 50% over 50% of the track to make it Twisted Cyclone now. So, but back then it was beautiful.
It was painful. And the like when they first built it and I rode it, I enjoyed it. I didn't
1990.
Like it I didn't enjoy it as much as I did the Great American Scream Machine as far as wooden coasters go.
Right.
But it was the going through the track thing was new for us at Six Flags,
Right.
And like your head was going to be chopped off.
Yeah.
And you're afraid to put your arms up because you're going to lose your fingers, that kind of thing. And those are things that I like about just about any coaster is I'm not afraid of them. I'm not afraid of the heights.
Right.
Because they're not going to put them out there if you're going to get hurt.
Right.
Hopefully.
No.
But
Z-Force.
Yes. Yeah. But it's like, you're strapped in, you're not, just enjoy it.
Right.
I used to, when people would say, I don't want to ride a coaster, I'm afraid it's this. And I said, well, what you've got to do is the tighter you hold, the worse the ride is, in my opinion.
Okay? Supposed to go with the flow of it.
Yeah. And if you can take your feet and just press them down into the floor and ride the roller coaster like you would a surfboard or a skateboard.
Right.
And go, and when it goes to a left-hand turn, lean to the left. Don't lean to the right.
Yep. Follow the motion.
Yes. and it makes it so much more fun. But
It
then there's
does.
some like the Z-Force or like Ninja or even like the Great American Screen Machine now.
Yeah.
That you can do all that stuff, and it is not going to help you.
But with Z-Force, there was no preparation for that thing.
No,
There was
and you
no,
could barely see out of the cars. The cars
and
were
that's
so
what I
high.
mentioned in that video that
Yeah.
really, it really made people. Okay, yes, you had the people who were into coasters, but for just the general people, yeah, it was you're looking at this for those listening just audio wise, you could barely see it from pictures. It's just your head is popping out,
Yeah,
and if you're smaller, there's no, you couldn't see.
Imagine a little old lady driving a big Lincoln Continental, and how she looks driving that car, and the steering wheel is right here. That's Z-Force.
And then instead of her seatbelt, she has over the shoulder restraints in her car.
Exactly. Yep.
Yes.
Yep. And she's going 90 miles an hour.
Correct.
Banging her head.
That's insane. Such a it was so innovative that they tried the whole space diver coaster model, but like it was a terrible model. I mean, a lot of like I mentioned in that video, a lot of other manufacturers have kind of taken a little bits and pieces from it and expanded and learned from it, which is good.
Right.
But yeah, that just wasn't good. It just no. But do you remember the advertising for that back then?
I can remember you've put some advertising on your channel.
I did.
And seeing that kind of brings it back. But
yeah, I just want to know from your perspective if you actually recall.
I just remember them talking about that it was like flying like a F-16 or something.
Yeah.
And the dives that you were going to be making, and
right.
the G-forces that were going to be put on you. And
yeah.
all this kind of stuff. And
like it was falling from space.
Yeah, it's more than G-forces. It's the Z-Force.
Yes.
Things like that.
Oh man, the marketing, the advertisement, it's crazy. It was so like quirky and like funny all the way up until Mr. Six, to be honest with you. Like their advertisement was so playful, which they try to aim for that. But do you remember some of did they have commercials in the 70s of Six Flags?
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, if you go back, I don't know if you can find them on YouTube, but I do remember like in the 70s when maybe late 60s, early 70s,
right?
Sid Marty Krofft
were
part of Six Flags. So you didn't have Bugs Bunny, you didn't have Batman, Superman, DC, you didn't have any of that, but you had Sid and Marty Krofft.
Yeah.
As those of you who don't know, Sid and Marty Krofft, they rule Saturday mornings.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
And Lidsville and the Bugaloos.
And big time. Yes, yes.
Just all kinds of stuff, on Saturday morning. So when I'm sure I've got it somewhere packed away.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they had a theater there where Daredevil Dive Coaster is now. That was
is that where it was located? I've been trying to figure out too where that was located.
Yeah, that was the theater there, and I think in '67, probably HR Puff and stuff, and those guys were in that theater.
Yes.
And then I believe they switched it over maybe in '68 or '69 to the Puppet Show.
Yes.
And it was like marionettes, and they had, the outside looked like a carnival tent, that kind of thing.
But that Krofft Theater was massive from pictures I've seen, right?
It was exactly the same layout and everything as the Majestic, the drive-in. It was the same building.
Okay.
They had extensions on the top,
right?
Where they had these little marionettes dancing around.
Correct.
So it looks larger, but it was
it wasn't that big. Oh, okay. Because from pictures, it looks really big. And then I was gonna ask, following that, what was inside?
Now, I don't remember being in there where the HR Puffin stuff things were, but it was just it wasn't like seats with backs. It was just bench seats.
Okay.
And they were rode terraced off down to the stage.
Right.
Now the puppet show, if I can remember right there, we went in and saw it. It was like the marionettes, and the people working the marionettes were dressed in black.
Right.
And they were on stage, so you didn't see them.
Yeah.
And they had maybe black light or something on the marionettes, and they were dancing and do all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Then they went from the marionettes and the puppet show. They took all that out when Sid and Marty Krofft left, and they turned it into like a stage show.
Right.
And that's when they brought in, I believe it was the Centennial Theater for 4th of July for the 2000.
Right.
2000. Listen to me. 200th birthday.
Yes.
We're
Yes.
200th birthday of America. Okay,
Right.
1976. 200 years.
Interesting.
So
Okay.
they called it the Centennial
Wow.
something. I can't. The Centennial Theater, and they
Right.
sang patriotic songs and stuff like that. Then it went
Okay.
from the Centennial Theater, and I think then it became. I may be wrong here. That it may have become the Drive-In or the
Yes.
Majestic.
Mhm.
One of those two came next, either the Drive-In or the Majestic Theater.
Right.
And so, and it was always kind of stage showy kind of stuff like that.
Okay. Okay. And then now it's just completely opposite.
Yeah, well, that's gone now.
Yeah, I know. It's just like in that area, if you're saying it's you had the coaster there, and then before you had what, Shake, Rattle, and Roll, the
Well,
scrambling.
before then,
yes.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Before then,
I'm just going like back and
okay.
Yeah,
Okay, go ahead.
this way.
Go back.
I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Okay, well, let me think. Let me pick my brain real quick. Before that was okay, come on, Miguel, with your history, Six Flags Over Georgia history. You put me on the spot. I don't know.
I'm sorry. Actually, there was a show in there.
Okay.
A magic show that nobody ever talks about much.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
A magic show, and that was only there a couple of years. Now you go back before that, and it was a Chevy show.
Yes. Okay.
Right.
Which the Chevy show was kind of like what people would think of Soarin' right now at Ep5 or like very
similar, but it was more like just sitting in an IMAX theater.
Correct. Which was big time though back then.
Oh yeah, there's no such thing as IMAX.
Yeah.
And the seats in there were exactly like they were over at the puppet show. They were just hard metal seats.
Yeah.
You kind of sat in a semicircle. Now the Chevy show building looked like a round ball,
right,
sunk down to the earth.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason they called it the Chevy show was because it was sponsored by Chevrolet.
Yep.
All right. So Chevrolet filmed this movie that you would go and you would sit and you would look up at this screen. The screen was kind of a semicircle.
Yep.
All right. And it went all the way to the ceiling, and it circled around like a quarter of the theater in front of you. So when you looked straight ahead, all you could see was screen.
Right.
And then they would show, like you said, similar to Soarin', where there would be like an airplane flying over the Grand Canyon, and you were sitting.
I wish this was still here. I really do. I really do.
Really good. But the thing was, is they never really updated it. It was still the same show, and it was sponsored by Chevy. So you'd be in a sports car.
Yes.
A Chevrolet. A Chevy Chevette or whatever. I don't know.
Right.
And you're driving around the track, and the camera's right on the front bumper, and now this is the honest truth. So you're sitting there and you're engulfed in this car, just flying around the corners and racing on the racetrack, and
right,
cars, and all of a sudden this car just comes. You see this other car coming up, and you're tailgating this other car.
Okay.
And you see the red lights come on, and this one hits its brakes, and it gives a little dip like that.
Yeah.
The whole building would go, whoa.
Serious.
Because that's what I say. It's like IMAX. You felt, and you would sit there, and people would get, maybe a little nauseous.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Especially if you're afraid of heights. And now you're in the airplane above the Grand Canyon, and you're going down. You look like you're about to come into the side of the Grand Canyon, and you go right straight. So, it was and it was air conditioning. That was the thing. So, but
I was waiting for you to say that.
So that was kind of like, at the time, I didn't care if it was air conditioner or not. But now that I've gotten older, air conditioning is extremely important.
It's a beautiful thing, and honestly, the park needs a little bit more of it still to this day. Yeah.
And the thing was, to see my parents, it would make me so mad, because it was like, oh, we're going to go to the Chevy show, or we're going to the Crystal Pistol, or we're going to go to the puppet show, or we're going. It's like, no, let's go do this. No, we're going to the Crystal Pistol.
Oh, of course.
I understand. But I probably hit the microphone. Sorry.
Yeah, you're good.
It's like air conditioning. We got to get air conditioning.
No, I'm with you. I understand. I understand both perspectives. I do. But back then, was that what section was that called? Still USA?
Yeah, it was still USA. You had the 6 sections, and you would walk in the park, and if you went to the right,
yes,
you had the English section because
right.
Georgia was under the English flag.
Correct.
Then as you walk up the hill to Marthasville train station,
right.
There was no agrophobia. There was no air racer.
Nope.
There was just the sky buckets, and they were called the Confederate sky buckets.
Yeah.
Then you had the restaurants there. Then where DC Super Friends are now, the DC
the Cotton States Exposition.
But actually, it's where the Joker Chaos Coaster, not the Chaos Coaster, Funhouse Coaster.
Funhouse. Okay. Okay. Sorry. Yeah.
That was the Spanish section.
Yes, it was. Yep.
All right. And then from there, you would Lick Skillet was put in 68, 69.
Okay.
And that was kind of, just a Western town. That didn't represent any flags.
Okay.
But if you walk around past the what was the Tales of the Okefenokee, which is now Monster Mansion.
Yep.
From there over about close to where the Thunder River observation deck is.
Yes.
That was the French section.
Yes. Correct.
Because observation that you look over
was the entrance to.
That's right.
Yep.
To, Jean Lebeau's River Ride or something like that.
Yeah.
Was it Jean Lebeau? It was something Lebeau.
It's yes. John Ribeau Riverboat. Right. It's something like that. Yes.
Down in the comments, you folks know.
Yes.
But then you would walk from there, and then you would walk up to the USA section. Which was USA. And then from there, when you'd go under the bridge and the log jamboree, they had 2 of them there. That was the Georgia section.
Right. Okay.
That was your Six Flags over Georgia.
So I was thinking earlier today, I don't know why, but where Macho Nacho is, what was there back then?
It was actually a restaurant. I want to say it was called Blackbeard's.
Okay. Yeah.
Who with the riverboat ride?
Yeah.
But it was a restaurant.
What was it themed? What was the food? Offerings.
I don't know that I could. I think everything pretty much back then was
hot dogs, hamburgers. Yeah.
I know up in the section again, the Confederate section.
Yes.
What JB's sports bar is now, that was like the Plantation House.
Yeah, right.
And that was where we ate because they had fried chicken.
Yes.
And so mom and dad
I did do research, and they had some good fried chicken. I heard
there for the fried chicken. Everything. There was no pizza. There was just maybe hamburgers and hot dogs, things like
that. Did you ever eat at Tondi's Tavern?
No, that's the one that would have been in like the gift shop now, I think, or Johnny Rockets.
Johnny Rockets, yes, Johnny Rockets is now.
No, we never did eat there.
Okay. But you always ate at the other place for the fried chicken. Okay. Okay.
I don't remember the name of the down in the Lick Skillet, the barbecue place down there. The Miners.
Yes, Miners Cookhouse.
That we would eat there sometimes because the time it wasn't enclosed, it was open air.
Interesting.
The sides of the building were open.
Wow.
We would eat stuff there.
Was there? Well, I know there was because of research, but I'll ask as if I don't know. Okay. Was there ever a McDonald's at the park, at least for a temporary?
I think so.
Time.
I believe, and if you did the research, you may know more than I do.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, it was where Goliath is. There was where the lockers are for Goliath.
Yes. Okay. Wow.
That, I believe, was where the McDonald's was, because at the time there was no Goliath. It was the Great American Gasp.
Yes.
Or the Great Gasp.
The Great Gasp. Yep.
And to the right there, where now it's Alien Abduction, that building.
Yes.
The Wheelie was there. So.
Oh wow! Yeah, You said the Wheelie, right? Because it moved 3 locations, correct?
Well,
it was there. It was Lick Skillet in the.
That was the only 2 that I know of.
Oh, so it was 2. Okay, it was 2. Okay.
They moved it from the USA section down to Lick Skillet when they brought in the Looping Starship.
Yes. By the way, the Looping Starship, I still believe that should still be there. There's so much. Just hear me out. There's so much dead space. There's so much open space. You can throw in like from maps I've seen, there was every area was filled with something, a stand, a food stand, merchandise, a ride or something. Every spot was full of something. And I just feel it's a lot cleaner looking now, but I just feel like you could throw in a lot of little things in different places nowadays.
Yeah,
What are your thoughts?
I think you're right. I think, you know, they don't go by the theming like they used to about the Six Flags. Now it's Metropolis, it's Gotham City, it's USA, those kind of things.
Yeah.
But it would have to, I feel like it needs to fit that section. If they bring something in. Now, again, I'm not like you guys that I've heard on some of your podcasts. I don't know what a lot of these coasters are that, the Aquaman.
No, you're fine. So, it's just fun stuff to talk about nowadays.
Just I'll ride with you guys.
Yeah. And you know me, and from my content, I blend the old and the new. I love the history, I love the past, and then I'll sprinkle in the old and new stuff. So I like to cater to everybody. I don't know.
And there's something to be said, like over in you said the Cotton States Exposition,
yes,
Metropolis.
Yes,
they had the Flying Furbus or Flying Freebus or something.
Yeah.
I never rode it. I knew it was there. It wasn't that big of a thrill of a ride. Actually, they put something else there. Was the wheelie there at one time? Maybe. I don't know. I know that there was a couple of rides there. Oh no! I'm sorry. It was Momo the Monster. Yeah. They moved Momo over there. So where the theaters were there,
right?
The Daredevil. Coaster. Or is that right? Am I saying it right?
Daredevil Dive. Yeah.
Daredevil Dive, yeah. So before you could go down that hill, all right, before they made it into Jolly Roger's Island, go down the hill. There, Momo the Monster sat there, and it sat there forever. The reason I know it was there is because when I was a teenager, me and my best friend, I'm going to tell you this story. Me and my best friend used to.
I've been waiting for you to touch on the next story.
Okay, yes. Well, we would go to Six Flags. Now, for me, I could ride pretty much anything. But my friend, and I'm not going to say his name or anything because he knows if he'll see this, I don't want to embarrass him.
Yeah.
He knows who he is. But we would go to Six Flags, and he had kind of a weak stomach.
Right.
So one time we went, and we rode Momo the Monster. Well, let me go back further than that. This same day we were there.
Okay.
The Spindle Top. You may or may not know where the Spindle Top was down in the Lick Skillet area.
Okay. Yeah.
Where Shenanigans is now.
Oh.
It was in a building behind in there.
Okay.
Maybe more, I guess, where the mercantile store is.
Yes.
So we had rode the Spindle Top. Now, for those of you who don't know what the Spindle Top is, it is a big cylinder that you would walk in and stand against a wall. And then it would spin around, and in the centrifugal force, kind of like a gravitron, it would hold you against the wall. And as you're up against the wall, the floor would gradually sink out from under your feet. So you're just
stuck against the wall, guys. Yes.
Right. You could, you weren't supposed to, but you could put your feet flip around, whatever you had to do.
Yes.
So that day we had rode the Spindle Top.
By the way, I don't do these. Like, I'm like your friend. In this regard. No, I can do it, but I prefer not to.
All right. Well,
yeah.
You can watch me.
Yeah. Okay. Fair. All right.
So we came out of that, and as we come out of that, if you to right over there where the Starflyer is now, that was the Drunken Barrels.
Yes.
Drunken Barrels were similar to the teacups at Disney or Storm Force at Universal.
Yeah.
So you would get in the Drunken Barrels. They were shaped like a barrel, and you would spin them around, and the platform would go up just a little bit.
Yes.
Okay? So it would tilt either way. So we got off the Spindle Top, and then we went to the Drunken Barrels.
Right.
So we get off the Drunken Barrels, and he's now beginning to feel a little nauseous. So okay, we'll do something else. So we walk back through Lick Skillet, and the dolphin show is about to start, and it was called Skipper and Dolly.
Okay.
So let's just sit and watch Skipper and Dolly. So we were sitting there watching Skipper and Dolly, and I looked over at him, and he's green. I mean, he is really green.
Right.
Man, what's wrong? He said, I'm getting seasick just from watching.
Oh.
He got nauseous on the other two things. So it was the wave. So it's like, okay, we'll leave here. We get out of the show.
Right.
So we're kind of walking around, and in a little while he's feeling better, and we're up around the USA section. Momo the Monster's there. And I said, okay, let's go ride Momo the Monster.
Oh my goodness.
So we go and we're in line for Momo the Monster.
Right.
I sitting there, and I look, and he's getting that look in his face again, like we did at the dolphin show.
He should have told you to stop. Let's stop. But he's being a good friend. He's going along. Right.
So I said, "Are you okay?" He said, "No." I said, "Can you ride it?" He said, "No." I said, "Do we need to get out of line?" And about that time, buddy, you think about this the next time you're there.
Yeah.
He made a beeline across the way there toward the restrooms over there.
Yeah.
Now, same place. The restrooms are in the same place.
Okay.
Great Gasp was there instead of the Goliath.
Okay. Right.
He's headed toward the restroom, and he just about makes the restroom. He makes it to the water fountain.
Oh,
right there between the men's room and the ladies' room, and
right.
there's where it all came out.
Oh my goodness!
So the next time you're in that area and you need a drink of water, you go right over there. You have
that goes for all of you out there. Yes, that's hilarious.
So anyway, that's how I know Momo the Monster was there.
Okay,
my teen years.
Okay,
I don't know the exact length of time.
Yeah, I get
ride that flying Furbus or whatever.
Yeah,
I don't think it was that long.
Okay, it might be that there's some ride. For you all listening and watching, in the comment section down below, please feel free to enlighten us, because I believe there was an attraction that was only there for like a year or less, and it just left. It just wasn't good. But it's documented. I don't recall what it was at this time as we're recording, but it was something. I don't know. But guys, I can talk forever about the past, but I want to move a little bit forward into the future because I love it.
You young whippersnappers out there, back in 1906,
yes, I love it. I really
will ever have problems.
Yes, so, yeah, I love it. But I want to know, what made you start a YouTube channel?
Okay, well, it wasn't that I intended on starting a YouTube channel.
Right.
I enjoyed watching YouTube, and I enjoyed watching people like the Tim Tracker.
Yeah,
I enjoyed watching View from the Cheap Seats.
Yeah.
You know, I watched those guys and had kind of a feeling that I'd like to do a YouTube channel, but not really 100% want to. And I had a G7X Mark II camera.
Nice. And, very solid point and shoot. Absolutely, very clear. Yeah.
When bugs aren't on it. If you watch my Lake Winnie video, it's like there's a spot on it. I didn't even know it till I was editing.
I do want to know a little bit more in depth with that vlog.
Okay.
So yes. Okay.
There's just, there's a spot on it. It's a mat.
Yeah.
And it's a video that I'll post next week from it's a cemetery vlog. It's not, don't think it's all morbid or anything.
No.
But that's where I picked up the spot. I actually recorded it before the Winnie one.
Okay.
But, and it's there's gnats in South Georgia, guys. There's gnats. So anyway,
so true. So true. Like, for example, when I went to I did the vlog from Wild Adventures. Brutal.
I know.
Oh my goodness, you're sweating, and they just love the sweat on your skin. They just get all. It's bad. But it's yes. Go ahead.
So the back to the trying to start a YouTube channel. So anyway, I went to Fright Fest Fright Fest.
Yeah. And
I recorded a bunch of stuff in Fright Fest.
Yes.
And it was actually probably the December after Fright Fest. And I thought, I'm just going to throw this video up because I recorded the entire Terror Train ride.
Yeah. And by the way, that video did very well for you.
It's 25,000 views.
25,000 views.
Crazy. And I just, and the thing is I had nothing to edit it on. I had a Movie Maker.
Okay.
On Windows laptop.
How a lot of people started.
Yeah, and I just threw it on there. And, there was no editing. I just, one or two edits maybe.
Yeah.
Took a picture of the sign saying Terror Train and the train, and then I just filmed everything on the train. And it was at dusk, so it was daylight, so you could kind of see everything.
Yeah.
And I threw that up there and didn't really, and I had gone on a cruise, and I threw some cruise things up where I was on a Sea-Doo and another one where
nice. You're a cruise connoisseur like myself.
I enjoy it. That was the last one I got to go on. Again, if you want to go.
Yeah, I love them. I have one planned for with everything going on, hopefully. I have one planned for April for the Carnival Mardi Gras to ride the coaster on there.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, so hopefully it happens. I don't know if it will. Hopefully, but yes.
Hopefully. But anyway, I threw those videos up and just kind of left
Mhm.
it sitting there. And then the next thing I know, the Terror Train videos got like 10,000 views, and it's like, maybe I should really start thinking about doing a few more things. So
That's insane.
I'm not as diligent as, say, like the Tim Tracker,
Yeah.
Kyle, or even Sir Willow or any of these guys.
Yeah.
Theme park stuff.
Mhm.
I'm just, I want to be. I really, truly, in my heart, want to do more.
Right.
And I have tons of stuff on the computer that I've done.
Please, we need it.
Well, I mean, some of them are kind of like opening day for Hall of Justice or Fight for Metropolis.
Yeah.
I did a video that day, never put it up.
That needs to be ASAP. After this cemetery one, that needs to go up.
Well, I've got a special one coming up. Hopefully by the end of the month, it's going to be a 3-parter having to do with Six Flags. And I've been going to Six Flags. I've been 2 or 3 times since the reopening, and I've been recording. So that I'll tell you about it.
Yes, guys, stay tuned. I'll know a little bit, and I won't shine light on it, but I'm sure it's juicy. But stay tuned. Okay, 3 parts, definitely. And as you guys know, his information will be listed down below, and also it's on the screen for those watching, and also for the listening, it'll be listed in the description down below as well. But yes, please proceed. I'm so excited.
Oh, yes. Other than that, it's like we went up to Lake Winnie, did a video there, threw it up. My second most popular video is actually one of the cemetery videos where I went and visited the grave of Junior Samples from here.
Yeah.
And so that one it's crazy. You look at the analytics, and then it's like it's just kind of staying, and then all of a sudden, I guess
it's just shot up
out there, and now it's like 10,000 views. So
that's crazy.
Things like that. And then my mom, for those of you who don't know, she goes by Magnet Fishing Grandma.
Yes, she does.
And my channel, I know, the thing that they tell you and they preach is keep your channel to a certain niche.
Yes.
If it's theme parks, stay with theme parks. I'm more along the lines of my channel is more like Jordan the Lion.
Okay.
Lion, or maybe the Carpetbagger. If you've
oh yeah, of course I have. Yeah, absolutely.
Just kind of hodgepodge, just
because he even visits theme parks.
Yes. And, more like if you look at my channel up at the top, it says On the Road with Brother Tim.
Yes.
So that's kind of, it's just things,
okay,
Georgia or the South.
Yeah.
Pretty much just things you might want to do, things you didn't know about, things here in Georgia, that kind of thing. Things like that.
Okay.
So, that's kind of what I want my niche to be. But my mom, Magnet Fishing Grandma, the last video I put out was the quilt that she made for Days with Jordan the Lion. He wears t-shirts. We hooked up. He showed his t-shirt collection. She made a quilt for him.
Very nice.
Quilt for the Carpetbagger.
Yeah. Oh wow.
You can watch.
I didn't know that. Wow.
All the details.
Okay. Yeah, guys, definitely check that out.
But she's hilarious. She is so funny, and magnet fishing. If you don't know, is you take a magnet, a big round magnet that the one that I got her was 250-pound pull, so it will lift 250 pounds off the ground.
Absolutely.
You tie it to a rope, you throw it in the creek, you see what you catch. Basically, you just pull trash out of the creek or out of a river or out of a lake. But it's fun. She enjoys it. She likes to metal detect. So some of my videos have to do with that.
Okay, fair.
And those are the most popular ones too, the ones that she does. So it's there because maybe my daughter or years from now, people look at it and say, "Well, that would look like that was pretty fun. What was Six Flags?"
Yes, absolutely. Especially with the passion, and that's another thing why I wanted to bring you on here for 2 reasons. You are a content creator. You have a YouTube channel. You have good stuff. I enjoy your vlogs. And there's a lot of other good stuff again for you guys as I plug in there for you guys to check out information there. But yeah, and also you have history of Six Flags Over Georgia, of these other things in the South, and also like Lake Winnie. You've been there multiple times in your life.
Yes.
So you have a lot of things, and I felt like this one was for me, but also I know everybody will love you and love this, and also again check out his channel. This one was a big one for me that I was really excited for. We could have done this offline, just talking as friends, but I really wanted to bring you on so other people could be hyped up about what I like, and that's your content. that's what you do and what you represent, and I like it a lot. So I just wanted to, just pay respect to you and just say, what you do and the passion that you bring with it and bringing people along. I want you to put out all those videos that you have in the
the archives.
The archives. We need it. The world needs it.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. No problem.
It's Six Flags. I've enjoyed it. I enjoyed it when I was young. When I became a young adult, and I don't know that we've talked about it, but I worked in radio for a little bit.
Yes.
I've worked in Christian radio for 25 years, something like that. And during that time, I was able to work not for Six Flags, but there was a Christian music festival called Atlanta Fest. And I was a stage manager, emceed. So I got to be behind the scenes there at Six Flags and see different things and experience different aspects of the park.
Right.
Like I think I may have shared a story with you about the agoraphobia. I think it was you, maybe.
Yeah.
When you did your video on the agoraphobia.
Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm.
During the festival one year, we set up tents for artists and for.
Yep. I remember you sharing that. Yep.
And in the very back, at that time, there was no Superman, but there was the Viper.
Right.
And behind the Viper, there's a road that comes down the hill there that actually used to lead into the Southern Star Amphitheater.
Right.
So right up there at the top of that hill, there is a electrical station.
Yeah.
We were setting up a tent, not me personally. Okay. The tent people were setting up a tent.
Yes. I remember. Yes.
So they were driving the stakes in.
Yes.
For this tent. It's like a funeral home tent. And not knowing that lines ran under.
Yes, guys, be ready for this. Yes.
They were driving their stakes. They drove a stake through a power line.
Yes.
Cut the power off in the park in the English section of where agoraphobia is.
Right.
Problem is that agoraphobia had lifted all the way to the top of the tower and it's just about to drop.
Yes.
Power shuts off. So the ride locks right there in top. Everybody that's on the ride is locked in. There's not coming down. And they were up there for quite some time. I'm sure they got season passes to infinity from that. But,
please, part ownership. Yeah, no.
Because it's like all of a sudden that whole section just shut off.
Yeah.
What's going on? No, they didn't see any sparks or anything driving that spike in the ground. But that's the way it was. It was just, that was a very freak accident. But I enjoyed those days. It was like during that time I got to be in the Batman stunt show.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh, okay. Well, let me tell you
that. Yes. I didn't know that. No. We're still good on the queue. Wait, yeah.
Okay, but yeah, so during that time I had run sound for different stages there for Atlanta Fest.
Yeah.
And one of the stages that we had set up at one time, there was a stage actually in the center of the USA section.
Right.
We were to between the games and DJs. That was where the soundboard was, and the sound cable ran underneath the pavement. And there was a stage that just sat right out there in the middle in front of Daddy-O's.
Yes.
They got games and stuff maybe there now.
Right.
And I was running sound for the talent show.
Okay.
Different people could come in and sing and stuff like that for Christian music. And I was running sound there, and I got to meet two of the operators there at Six Flags. One of them, her last name was Tuckweiler, and we called her Tuck. I said her first name. And then her friend Renee. And Renee was a little short, redheaded girl. I'm sure they don't work there now. Right. Renee was in charge of several different stages where she was like the board op or front of house person. So she was there to make sure I was okay. Right. I got really good friends with her. And over the next couple of years, they put in the Batman stunt show and she got promoted down to the Batman stunt show.
Right.
She was kind of in charge of the backstage area of the Batman stunt show. So the year that Atlanta Fest was going on, I went down and I talked to her and I talked to Tuck and got, the people that I knew there.
Right.
She said, how would you like to be in the Batman stunt show? And I said, I'd love to be in the Batman stunt show. She said, okay. Come down, the show time was at 30.
So cool.
Come down about 10 minutes early and ask for me. And then what they would do is they would bring me inside the theater without anybody else in there and set me down in a certain place. So it was me and my daughter.
Oh, you were sorry, keep going.
Go ahead. Yeah. What?
Were you one of the people who they would like call and as a oh, that's so cool.
So it was me and a friend of mine and my daughter. They set us down. They said, okay. And they give you the direction. Say it's not going now, so I can tell you all this.
Yeah.
They said, what you got to do is when they ask for volunteers, you stand up and you wave your
Yeah.
arms and you scream and you got to make sure you.
Yes, I know what you're talking about. Yes, so
So, okay.
cool.
So
Yeah.
do that.
So
So
cool.
like my friend and my daughter's got to be pointing at me like, hey, choose him, choose him.
Yeah.
So they asked for volunteers. There was actually another group of folks on the other side that had met somebody that were getting them in too.
Right.
So, and they usually picked 4. You had 2 reporters, and I think Vicky Vale and somebody was dressed in a dress like her, and then somebody like a pedestrian or civilian.
Mm-hmm.
They asked for volunteers. I yelled, that's me. About lost my voice just screaming. Okay, they picked us and they said, okay, give us your best scream. So I gave them my best scream. They said, okay, I think you'll be a good pick. You know, it's all like anyway. So then we go backstage and I become one of the reporters. So I got a trench coat on, I got me a little fedora, and we're backstage. So Renee says, okay, what you got to do is when y'all go out there, act scared and on fall on you when they shoot the gun over this way, and you got the mobile flying around, and you also got the guys on the motorcycle. Stay away. You don't know.
This is crazy. You said that you had a report there 10 minutes before, and you were hit with all this 10 minutes before.
Well, yeah, you got 10 minutes you set up, and then when you go backstage, the stunt show's kind of going on. That's when you know what you got to do.
Okay, I got you.
Not all of us are going to be doing it.
Right.
All of us, actually, the 3, I was the only one that got to go through the whole thing.
Yeah.
Have them, get escorted out pretty much right away. So, the on and the fall, you run out to this far and then you come back, and then the stunt guys will come and pick one of you and bring you out, and they're going to electrocute you.
Right.
Okay. So I guess they had I'm super tall. I'm tall. And then
you're over 6 feet.
Yes. 6'3" to 6'4", somewhere.
Okay. All right.
So we do our little stunts. We run out, we run back, so on goes on. And then the Joker's henchmen come over there and they grab me. And they pull in, and I'm supposed to be fighting. And because they're whispering in your ear, they're saying, okay, kind of wrestle us, fight us off. So it's like I'm trying to fight them loose.
All right.
They put me over and they put me in an electric chair. And the guy leans down, and he said, all right, now act like you're getting shocked. And I said, okay. So they throw the switch, and I'm like, I'm selling it, buddy.
Yes, yeah.
So much fun. And it was like I got through and they said, that was really good. It's good. So got to be in the Batman stunt show. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm very proud. I didn't know that. That's super cool and epic, and I love those stories.
Oh, yeah.
That was a great story.
I used to have out front was part of the Batman stunt.
Yes, it was. It was.
You can look at that back wing and see where it flops down.
Yep, correct. Yeah, that's very true. A little tidbit for you all as well. Yeah.
Hopefully they'll bring it back out.
Hopefully. They were supposed to,
yeah.
But hopefully. Yeah, wow, that's crazy. But speaking of things going on now too, as far as the reopening, I know I saw your vlog, and guys, check out his vlog. But the reopening is the one I'm talking about of the 2020 season. We're not going to talk about Masked right now, but just in general, what's the reopening like? Now, again, you went all the way back to 1968, and then all the way different decades, times in between. What's it like now for you with the reopening? Like, just everything's different. I know the world, everything that we've known has been different, but I'm just saying we'll just keep this tightly knit to Six Flags over Georgia. What's it like for you now going to the park? It's just a crazy experience.
Well, we'll go with the good things first.
Yes.
So to me, the best thing about the way it is right now, I'm sure it wasn't Labor Day weekend, but the crowds are so low.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what time.
Okay, that's fair. That's very true.
And I'm a Diamond Elite member.
Oh, nice. Yep.
It's nice to sign up for preferred parking and actually get it.
Right.
There's been times I've signed up for preferred parking and get there and there's nobody monitoring it, and I'm ended up having to park in the back of the park. It's like, oh, I guess it's full. We'll walk away.
Right.
So that's nice.
Okay.
I like that the lines are low. I know it's not good for them, but it is nice for folks that just enjoy walking around and enjoying.
Right.
What's the bad part about it is just I guess it's, I don't know, the not being able to get close to each other.
Yes, I'm with you on that. It brings the atmosphere. I like it. I don't like it being swamped like crazy busy, but it brings atmosphere that I've always loved growing up, where you have people. You don't know these people, different races, religions, whatever. Nothing matters. You're all there to have fun and a good time. And you'll be in the queue line, hence the name the queue. You can just engage with so many people that you don't know, hear other conversations, and just enjoy it. It brings that amazing thriving atmosphere to it that right now does not have.
No.
And
the saddest part about it is that you go to the park and you want to have fun,
yeah,
then you're thinking, oh, that person's a little bit too close to me.
yes, you have.
I'm
It's
too close to
weird.
that person, or that
Yeah,
person's not wearing a mask. Should I even be? It's not like, oh, they're having fun. It's like you're constantly looking
yeah,
at the danger that's around you.
yeah.
And that to me is just so sad.
It is sad. Yeah, it really is though. And I was looking back at actual opening day, March 7th, which you were there as well, of the 2020 season. And the pandemic was here, the virus was here. We knew about the virus, we just didn't think it was here in Georgia.
Right.
And then a week later things shut down, but we're at the park having it was a beautiful day, like you mentioned, and I mentioned in my vlog as well. It had rained so much before then.
Yep.
And then it was a perfect day, it was a perfect weekend, and then it just shuts down the week after.
They were talking about, social distancing and washing your hands.
Oh yeah, I forgot they were. You're right.
In the whole park, there might have been 3 or 4 sanitizing dispensers, maybe.
Yeah, you're right.
And nobody was. I may have saw a handful of mask wearers, but it wasn't like
I didn't see any at that time.
Well, and it's just you weren't scared. Yeah, and it's like, okay, I'm going to wash my hands after I get off this ride.
Yeah.
Or I touch.
Well, I just keep hand sanitizer. I didn't even use any of those mobile hand washing stations on that day. I didn't. I just use my sanitizer like normal, but now I'm like, I'll use them. Yeah. And it's so weird, but you're right. You're right.
Hopefully, I'm sure it's not going to be 100% the way it was before, but I sure hope it is very
or close.
Yeah,
we'll hope for that. Absolutely.
Let me show you some stuff though before we get close to the.
We're almost there. We're almost there.
There's another picture from 1968. How about that?
Yes, more. Yes. So yes, elaborate on what we're seeing for those again listening.
Okay, what you're seeing here is a little Tim and his little sister, and we're sitting in the Hanson cars.
So cool.
Which was actually where the Twisted Cyclone is now.
Yes, yeah. People
queue, same queue, except now they've got lockers in there.
Yep.
But, there I am in my little Hanson car. So there you go.
Wait, while we're here, do you have more?
Yeah, I got more.
Let's do a little bit more.
I want you to tell me where this is at, though. All right. Now this is a picture. I'm standing there with my little sister. Can you see it good? I know there's kind of
the light from the screen. You're on top of in the Spanish section. You're on top where you used to shoot the cannonballs to where located is the just standing but not operating Splashwater Falls.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yep. That's the top of the fort.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Spanish fort.
Yeah. Okay. So I just needed you, based off of me being able to see the picture, to tell me what that thing was at the top. And that
little dome is still there.
Yeah.
It's if you look at the Joker Funhouse coaster.
Yep.
If you were outside in the DC area looking up and you see that sphere or that cannon or whatever it is now.
Yeah.
Over to the left.
Mm-hmm.
That's what
it is.
Had there in that picture.
It's crazy. It is.
I got one more thing for you here.
No, please. Yes.
I'll show you this. Now you've got to guess what this is.
Okay. Fair.
Can you see it? It's a piece of metal with a red and a blue stripe on it.
Okay. Yes. For those listening.
You can all right. It's very thin. And then it's silver, blue, and red.
All right.
That has to do with Six Flags Over Georgia. I promise you.
You said it does or does not?
It does have to do with Six Flags.
Okay. I'm not gonna get it. Go ahead.
Take a guess.
Yes. Take a guess.
Yeah, take a guess.
Something from the Hanson cars. That. Oh no, I don't know.
That's okay.
Okay, I don't know. Guys, in the comment section before, I want you guys while you're watching this, drop that. You can still answer it, but I want to know if they will guess before you actually tell me. But yes, go ahead.
There we
That's
go.
great.
On you one more time here.
Okay, so it's like a silver, guys, red and blue. It's metal.
Yeah.
So it's like horizontal, but it has like a layer type of it could look like what wouldn't you agree, kind of like a Tetris piece?
Yeah,
kind of. Okay, like okay. I don't know, go ahead.
For those of you listening and you can't see it, then what you need to do right now is go over to YouTube and podcast, fast forward about an hour and 10-15 minutes, and and then you hit the like button and the subscribe button, and you take care of all that at one time, and you don't have to worry about it again.
But keep listening too on the audio version, so it both gets. Yes, that was perfect. That was amazing.
All right. So what that is when I was involved with Atlanta Fest, and they had taken the Viper out, and they were building Superman.
Okay.
Right? And if you walk up the queue line of Superman,
okay,
you look at the load station, you look at the load station, and you look up at the right corner, and you've got the sides that come down to an angle. This was actually cut off the outside trim of the Superman load station. Wow. And you'll see the blue and you'll see the red.
Okay, that makes sense now.
It kind of comes down, like that, and then it just kind of chops off.
Yeah,
this was the piece that was just chopped off.
That is cool. Do you have any other things from the park?
I do. I don't have them right here. I couldn't.
No, but just in general.
I've got like a baseball banner.
Yeah.
Says Six Flags Over Georgia, and it's got 4 little pictures on there.
Yes.
And one of them is the Tales from the Okefenokee.
Right.
One of them is the riverboat ride, the log flume, and I want to say it's just got the flags.
Right. Okay. And so oh wow! I just figured you had stuff.
Yeah, I used to have maps, but those mom probably threw those away.
Oh, you don't have it. Oh, you don't have any? Not. Oh wow. Yeah, I have quite a few. I have one from I'm 67 or 68. I have, and then looking at that map, first of all, how detailed somebody drew that. And then also, I think it was 67 opening year. If you look at the map, they show a lot of brown because there's a lot of dirt. Like there wasn't, like you're saying, there wasn't a lot there.
Right.
There wasn't a lot there. So that's crazy.
And there was trees everywhere.
Yeah. Correct.
I mean, if you went down to Lick Skillet, now where the picnic pavilion is,
the
soundboard
trees.
It was all trees,
Wow.
I mean, there were trees everywhere. You had the Skipper and Dolly tank, and all around that was trees. Up Carousel Mountain was trees. There was no Cotton States Expedition. It was all trees.
Trees, yeah. Until they expand it. That is insane. But again, you were there the second year of operation of it being open, 1968. That's beautiful. Last question before we get on the Hulk.
Okay.
What is your favorite food to eat at, we'll say, our home local parks right now, Six Flags Over Georgia?
Well, you got to pick. It's easy because you got to pick either a hamburger, you got to pick a turkey leg, barbecue, or chicken wings, chicken fingers, or pizza. I mean,
okay, you didn't have to ruin my question.
No, but where I eat, if you want to find me eating, it's going to be JB's.
My favorite place too.
And I like the crispy wings.
Yes.
Sauce.
No sauce?
No, because they usually just douse it with sauce.
They do. Yeah. Do you like their spiral fries?
They're the best fries in the park.
Thank you. We're done here. Perfect. Oh man.
Now that they've got mobile ordering, hopefully that line will move faster. I have waited longer in line at JB's than I have for any ride.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you this. What is the longest queue line that you've been in at Six Flags? How long have you waited?
Well, this is always real quick. This is always a question as far as how long I've waited in general. You guys know the 13 hours, 11 minutes that
Yes,
I've
I
done
know
at,
that one for you.
yes, but at over Georgia, the longest would probably be either Monster Mansion or a Superman. And it had to been like 2.5 hours at the park.
For
Yeah.
Monster Mansion?
It was one of the two. I don't recall which one it was.
Okay.
But I know both of them, they're 1 and 2 for the longest. But as far as that particular wait, it was summer of 2015, and it had to have been one of the two. But they both were super long. I'll just aim it towards right now, Superman, because I remember vividly how hot it was in that queue line outside in July.
Yeah.
So 2.5 or so. And then other than that, as far as we want to say food, it would probably be around last year with JB's has been long for me, but also I'll probably say Strutters.
Oh, okay. I haven't.
Yeah, I didn't actually get the food. I ended up leaving. It was too long.
So you're still waiting.
I'm still waiting. Still to this day, I haven't tried the food there. Yes, go ahead. What about you?
The longest line I've ever waited in was Batman at Six Flags over Georgia, and that was the year that it opened.
Ooh,
and it was like the thing to do.
Of course.
And I went with my sister and brother-in-law, and he was a big Batman fan, and I'm a big comic. I used to collect comics too. I was more of a Marvel, not DC so much.
Yes.
He was DC. So, you know, the movies had been out. This was supposed to be the big thing. So we started in the queue line at the entrance.
Yeah.
Walked around, went around the fountain, down through the sewer.
Yeah.
And, you know, then it was like, man, this is awesome theming. You had the water fountain.
Yeah.
You had the board that was like the new Gotham City coming, you know.
Yes, correct.
When you made that turn to go down in the sewer, that sewer grate or the manhole cover,
yes,
kind of cockeyed, and then smoke was coming up out of that. You walked down to the end of the tunnel there before you made a right, and you had the toxic spill there, and it was green water bubbling and smoke.
They need to bring all that back, by the way.
Yes, I agree.
Yes.
You take that right, you go down to where you kind of walk back out into the open again, and to the right now they've just got rocks, but then they had all kinds of stuff thrown over there. There was actually a old motorcycle that they had wrecked in the stunt show was laying there.
Oh wow.
Just junk. Just real live junk.
Of course.
Then when you went back into the next little opening there, the next door, to the right. Now, I don't know that anybody has gone to the right in years.
Yes.
We went through that entire building all the way to the far end.
No, wow.
Back and forth, back and
forth. Yeah.
Middle of that building, there's like a toxic waste canister there.
Okay.
We're all saying, "Oh, this is so awesome! This theming is so great." You know, we didn't really mind waiting. Then when you got to the far end of the building, you went outside. Walked down the outside of the building, and out there they had a police car that was crashed into a fire hydrant. The fire hydrant was spewing water. The police cars, lights were flashing, and it was going. They had like a traffic light up there. Then you walk back into the building after you walk outside, then up the steps, and then into the loading station.
Right.
And then, you know, you got on the ride, and there you went. And it was probably a good 3 or 4 hours.
3 or 4 hours. Okay.
And
that seems to be everybody's longest wait period, but still for that. But again, the theming was up to par back then, but still, that especially for that's still really long.
Yeah, and you know, you look at the theming now, like you watch Kyle's video, View from the Cheap Seats, and he was talking about how Gotham City is so themed out and everything, and it's so much better than even some Universal stuff. And I'm thinking, have you been into Harry Potter's Wizarding World? It's okay. And I think what it is like you and I, that's our home park. We get jaded.
Yes.
You know, we see it and we see it built and we see what it was there before. I remember when it was Jolly Roger's Island and the Bird Cafe.
We were going to talk about, we were going, the train's almost here. So we ran out of time.
Sorry.
Yes. No. That's on me. I was stuck in the past for like an hour.
Yeah. But let's do it again.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. We'll have you back for part 2.
More stuff to show you.
Please. I'm sure the people really do want it. I promise you they would. I promise. Yeah. But yes, that's a long wait for a Batman, but I know it was like a great experience overall when you did get on it though.
Yeah, because that again, everything that I've ever done at Six Flags was always a first. The Great American Scream
that's awesome.
was the first wooden coaster. The LaGuardia Mine Train was the first steel family coaster.
Yes.
The Superman was the first flying coaster. I guess it's called flying. I feel like
it is.
You know, the Batman was the first, inverted? Did I get that right? No. What is that?
It is inverted. It is a B&M invert. Yes.
Okay. There you go. That was my first one.
Yeah.
And, the Mindbender was the first triple loop roller coaster.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to see what that come back.
Oh, I'm at the edge of my seat anticipating some type of more news stuff, which you guys know I will shine light on whenever I hear something.
And if you want to know, ring that notification bell, because that will let you know when Miguel posts.
This is true. This man is gold. Very true. Very true. With that being said, also you can find Brother Tim's, all his socials are right there, listed down below on YouTube and on SoundCloud, and also on the screen right there. Make sure you subscribe and hit that bell notification button also to all, so you can be notified when that cemetery video and also this 3-part series video and every other video that you can dive into the past are all listed there for you to laugh, engage, have fun too. It's all there for you guys. Please do so.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. But oh my goodness, Tim.
Yes.
It's finally here. The train's finally here. The coaster is here. It's time to get on, but it went over. We need to ask for some express passes or something because I'm mad. I'm mad right now. I'm irate because but it's time.
Huh? You fit the theme of the Hulk, though. Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
This is true. But last question.
Oh, okay.
Where are we sitting?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I'm a big guy. I'm 6'3", 6'4", about 270 pounds. So the Hulk is actually only got one train or one car that's the 4th row back. That's big enough to where I feel comfortable. Where I got leg room, and I appreciate that. I wish it was a front car, and I've rode the front car before.
That's my spot on that
coaster.
My
legs, like at the Mindbender and places like that, it's like I had to fold my legs up under the seats. But row 4 on the Incredible Hulk is made especially for us taller feet.
I did not know that.
We've got to get on the row 4. Sorry.
Well, we're getting on row 4. With that being said, like I mentioned, thank you so much, Tim, for joining me. It's been amazing. It's my it's not literally my birthday, but it felt like it. I'm very excited, and I could keep talking about this podcast, but thank you so much for blessing the Q podcast and with your presence. It's been very special.
It's been a pleasure being your 5th guest in the Q.
Yes,
I will look forward to coming back sometime. I really would. Maybe we can talk about Winnie or even Universal and stuff like that.
I did want to talk about Winnie a little bit more. Yes, yeah. So and Universal, we can.
I am willing and able at your convenience, sir.
I appreciate that, and also we got to get to the parks together.
Yes.
Yes, I want that.
Been at the park at the same time. We've just not been there together.
That's true. That's true. But we'll make it happen for sure. For sure. But again, thank you so much. And then you guys can find all of his information in the iCard right there. Also, the link in the description down below for both SoundCloud and on YouTube, and also on YouTube listed on the screen. But it is time to ride the Hulk. And thank you all so much. We'll see y'all next time in the queue. Take care, guys.